I have been to the home goods store so many times already this year, but today I am taking you along to go shopping with me. We have already done the TJ Maxx and the Marshalls in my recent videos, but this store just has so much stuff that I have been overwhelmed in making this video. So here we are. We are just going to jump right in and do it. Look at this cemetery column. I absolutely love this. I was so tempted. I am doing a cemetery, of course, in my theme this year, as I do most years. And I have really terrible cemetery columns I made out of like sonotubes, like they're like heavy cardboard things you pour concrete in. And I've had them for like 15 years now, and they are so falling apart because they don't hold up in the rain. So I don't tend to keep them out very long before the holiday because it really crosses my driveway and that would be really inconvenient. But they are so falling apart. I really need some. Point being, I love those columns, but they are $500 and I just don't think I could justify that. I do think I could get away with a few little interior pieces for my house this year, and if you watched my last video, you'll know I've actually made a few purchases already for my interior theming, which I will point out as we go along. If we can find it. I mean, there is just so much stuff crammed on all of these shelves, like this wonderful cauldron with those eyeballs popping out. I love that. But all these shelves are just so jam-packed with stuff. Look at Frankenstein with the sort of hipster vibe going on. Love that. Love this pumpkin stack. Hear no evil, see no evil, speak no evil. Anyway, it's going to be hard to find the merchandise we're looking for. It could be anywhere hiding amongst these shelves. Look at that mummy lifting up his pumpkin head. That was pretty clever. I actually heard somebody say as I was walking through the store, wow, this store has 10 times more than mine, which I can totally see. I mean, there is just so much stuff. It's wall to wall. I feel like they even had more stuff, in the week or two that they started putting it out. I saw a lot of things that I wanted to buy. I didn't. Fortunately, I think we're going to see them still, but they're going to go fast. The good pieces always do. So you're not going to want to delay as you make your Halloween purchases. Hopefully you'll find something here that you like. If you're into black cats on pumpkins, I think you're going to have quite the field day here today. They have some plushies too. Look, we've got a Maleficent with a trick-or-treat bag, Jack Skellington. I think we're going to see more here in a minute. Lots of dolls. It's not really something that's up my alley. And I was about to say, who buys all these dolls? Because there are so many of them. And I think that right there is that black and white thing is a mushroom. There's so many mushrooms this year. But anyway, back to the dolls. I actually bought one at the Goodwill. I'm going to get through this story eventually, but let me just say, I cannot stand this. I think this is the piece in the store that I hate the most. It is obviously the spell book with the eye, but why is it digital? That totally ruins the effect. It doesn't look good. I hate everything about it. I do love this eyeball, though, with the little wooden balls that you can put in like a little bowl or something on your coffee table. But back to the dolls. I did actually buy one at the Goodwill once. It had a very like poofy skirt, and I was going to make the sort of witch table topper where it looks like when you put the tablecloth on a round table, it looks like it's a giant skirt for them and you can use it for serving all of your holiday party dishes. Anyway, I never got around to doing that, of course. A lot of my goals are pretty lofty, but they are always kicking around in the back of my mind, and one of these years I may end up doing that. If I even kept it, I have a feeling I may have ended up actually giving that away. Love that pumpkin, that sort of green teal color. If you watched my TJ Maxx walkthrough, I did mention I purchased some green colored pumpkins, but that wasn't it. Oh, look at this spell book with the witch's hands and the hat. You can even see a little bit of her cape on that. I actually have that spell book with the skeleton hands, and I put it out many years. I find that decorating with the book themes is so easy and satisfying. I have so many fake books, which is one thing, now that I'm talking about it, I don't think I saw at all in my walkthrough here at Home Goods. Oh, look, we've got the witch's hands holding little skulls. I think we saw a version of that at the other store with the witch's hands holding pumpkins. So lots of little variations on this merchandise. But what was I talking about? The little fake books. I don't know if you use them to decorate, but one thing that's really nice about them is you can use them to prop up your decor. If you need things to be a little more pyramidal, is that a word? Like I usually do on my coffee table, I will stack things up and kind of make a mound of different decor. And I use those books as a good way, an easy way to do that. That little gray-black ghost there is a nice change of pace. I mean, we've seen so many, of course, white, but nowadays even like the pink ghosts and everything. I like these darker colors. They're very spooky, more Halloweenish in my opinion. Look at the little baby vampire. Why is he green? It kind of reminds me of Frankenstein. The hooded, faceless specter holding the globe there was pretty nice. I think we have seen a few variations on that this year. Did we see something similar at the Cracker Barrel? I think it was a wall hanging. Oh, look at that. We have the skeleton hand holding the apple, the little poison apple. I bought that last year from a different store. It was from the Old Time Pottery, which has changed its name to, I think, Gabe's or something this year. And I thought it was such a good effect. I ended up putting that in a bowl of apples. So, of course, I had a witch theme, so it kind of made sense in my kitchen. And I really loved the way that looked. Look at that. We have a Bride of Frankenstein that kind of looks a little hipsterish, but look at this little specter holding a bowl. I mean, I don't know what it is. Is that death holding a bowl? I love that silvery nature of it. And you see that white ghost statuette there. I think we'll see it again here in a minute. I almost wanted to buy that. I'm not sure what the black swan there was. There are those ghosts again. I love the way that looks. I feel like I should pick it up for when I do a ghost theme, which I am not doing this year. I did ghosts a little bit last year, I think going up my back stairwell. Of course, if you don't know what I'm talking about, I do different themes throughout my house and my yard, multiple different themes, and I try and keep it pretty cohesive. And I had some really cool props with the ghosts last year, but that means I can't really bring them back this year, or I try not to do things 2 years in a row, which means I really should not be buying things like that. I need to focus on the things I need to get, which are vampire decor for inside. Of course, I think you've heard me complain several times now that there's just not enough cool circus decor or sideshow decor. Those are the main themes inside my house. I am also doing a Speakeasy of the Dead, so if I find anything that might be good, I still need some centerpieces for that. Not really sure what I'm going to do. One thing I absolutely know I will not be doing is anything involving I'm here for the booze. You know how much I can't stand that. All right, we have Frankenstein Mickey and Minnie. I think we saw those in Marshall's as well. Of course, all of this merchandise kind of mixes and matches within the store, although I think there is just so much more here to take a look at. And of course, I do apologize if we see things over and over, like, you know, you've got Zero popping out of the pumpkin there, a couple of different places. I think they just have no room and just throw the same things wherever they can on the shelves. Love the face pumpkins. I really am tempted to do that as well. Not this year, of course, but one of these years, because they are just so grumpy cute. I absolutely love them. I think the at-home store had several versions of it this year. Look at Frankenstein there with the pink hair. I do admit I am not completely unhappy with this merchandise. I like the fact that they're venturing out and doing different things, because I think if we didn't and we just had the same old kind of traditional Halloween or scary merchandise, that it would just maybe get a little stale and we wouldn't have this plethora of merchandise to look at, because people wouldn't be buying it and it wouldn't be as big of a business as it is. It's kind of crazy how much revenue is generated through Halloween. That's why we are seeing it in July. Of course, they'll try and call it Summerween, make up whatever they want to justify it. I don't care. I wouldn't mind if there were Halloween merchandise like in an aisle year-round for us Halloween collectors. And, you know, based on the comments that I get on all of these videos, there's a lot of us that would really like that. One thing I would like to see a little bit more of are those sort of oil painting looking artwork pieces. I know Michaels has a lot of that, and even more since my last video. I did a video walkthrough a while ago which just had the initial stuff out, but they've got a lot more out. Well, that sounds somewhat horrendous, but back to Michaels. I'll have to do a return video here soon, but they are so expensive. I mean, of course, you know, you can use your coupons. I assume they still do them. I only shop at Michaels once a year for my Halloween merchandise, and even then, it's hard to justify it. But, you know, I did get a email from them the other day with like a $5 off coupon, and I'm like, yay, I can go buy, you know, something really cheap. But really, is there anything cheap at Michael's? I don't even know. Here are some bats that could go with my vampire bat theme. And snakes. I am doing Medusa. If you've watched again my last video, Medusa is going in my guest bathroom, primarily because there is not a whole lot to decorate with. I'm going to be putting in a lot of snakes, that's for sure. And of course I bought a bust of Medusa. Actually, I bought one from HomeGoods here. I didn't see it still on the shelf. That's why, again, you want to buy these things when you see them and you want them. And it ended up being a little bit too large, so I returned it on this trip. And I ended up purchasing the one at TJ Maxx. Aw, look at the little dancing skeleton couple. They're cute, but I really like this specter in the back, of course. I love how they're doing that whole faceless thing. It's so creepy. That one lights up a little bit, a little hard to see. There is a little Medusa thing here. It looks like it should be a fountain, and if it were a fountain, I probably would have bought it, but I think it just has light up eyes, which is a little disappointing. The skull stack that makes a Christmas tree look. That's an interesting idea. Maybe one of these days or years, in my case, we should make a Halloween Christmas tree out of skulls, like a full-size one. That would be amazing. Probably take 1,000 different skulls, though, and be a little cost prohibitive. I love these sort of busts. That looks really fun. I'm still trying to find a nice one that looks like Dracula. I'm holding out hope that we will find one this year. Look at the little ghost holding the boombox. That's adorable. But back to my vampire bust. So I do have the Edgar Allan Poe bust, and this is giving me flashbacks of several years ago when that thing came out. And, you know, he does have little vampire fangs, so I might end up using him in my display. But he was so popular as well. I remember there was kind of a little fervor of people trying to find him. And I went to HomeGoods, I think, like every day on my lunch break, just in case they put one out. I would be the first one to grab it, and eventually I did. And that's what you got to do sometimes if you're waiting for that popular piece. But another reason, just buy it if you see it and you want it, like that little floating gray skeleton there. Loved the look of him. I actually kind of like the shade of that pink pumpkin there. And of course we've got purple, along with the witches. Look in the back there, you've got the skeletons popping out of a frame. They actually had a really cool version of that. It was a little bit larger. I think it might have been a ghost that was popping out of it. Maybe it was a skeleton, I don't remember. It was a week or two that I was here and I saw it, and I don't see it anywhere again on the shelves because it looked amazing. And now I kind of kick myself for not getting it. I don't like the single pictures. I always try and hang my pictures, of course, in like threes, so if I can't find like a group of them, I find it hard to decorate with. That little dog was super cute as well, wasn't he? I also like that they have a lot of those like groupings of ghosts. Oh look, there's another Halloween Christmas tree, just like a little simple light up one. Love this bust. I don't know why when I pressed the try me button it lit up the tombstone. They do have a couple of different tombstone styles there. They're not too bad. I didn't catch the price. Of course, you know, we're not looking at any of the prices. It's just kind of giving you an idea of what the merchandise is there. Look at that ghost, though, that was holding the skull. That was nice. So if you're interested in any of this merchandise, rush out to your HomeGoods store to buy it. Doesn't matter what the price is, right? Not when you find that right piece of merchandise. There's something wrong with that skull. Why does the bottom stick out like that? That makes me uncomfortable. All right. We have, oh, there, I bought that skull with the crown on it, because I'm doing dragons in my yard, so I'm going to make it look like there's a pile of bones, as if the dragon, the medieval dragon, has eaten the king of the castle. I originally was going to have a castle inflatable in my scene, but it has finally died. I think if you watched one of my inflatable review videos, we sent it off to its final resting place together. It's very sad. I had really looked forward to using that in my display this year. It was going to be the great walkthrough transition from my cemetery zone, where it was going to be like the creepy castle in the background of a cemetery. And then you walk through it, on the other side was the dragons, so it was the medieval castle with the king. And it was going to be such a perfect transition. But unfortunately, that castle was so old, I couldn't get it to stand up. I added a secondary fan, a really powerful one that was meant to blow up really big inflatables, but it just would not stand up no matter what I did. Even when I used it a couple of years ago, in fact, I bought it on Facebook Marketplace and I only got a chance to use it in one display. That was when COVID started and we didn't have a Halloween party. All I did was one simple display in my driveway of Ghostbusters, and it had Slimer in it. And I'm really disappointed I didn't get to use it further because it was an awesome inflatable. I am actually doing Ghostbusters again this year because I have another awesome inflatable. That is the 33-foot Stay Puffed Marshmallow Man that was sent to me by the HalloweenCostumes.com people. It is amazing. I'm just having difficulty deciding where I'm going to put him because if you watch that video, I have a shot of it where he's facing up my driveway, so you see him as you walk into the display and you have to walk underneath his legs, and I think it would be a really great place for him, but I'm doing Ghostbusters at the end of the driveway and I need to either turn him around, so as you're walking down my driveway you're going to be facing the back of this 33-foot inflatable, or I need to put him at the very end of my driveway, which is kind of under construction right now, which is one reason some of my Halloween videos here have been a little late, and I find it hard to be motivated to make these videos because every day I'm out working in my backyard. I'm trying to re-terrace my backyard all myself, and it's so hot in Georgia. It is so much work, and it's exhausting. So I am forcing myself today to sit down and edit this video when really all I want to do is go lay on the sofa and watch some movies. So if you've got some good Halloween style or horror movies to recommend, leave me a comment below. I started watching the other day, what was the movie called? Night of the Living Deb, it's about a woman named Deb, of course, and she's very kind of socially awkward, and it was hilarious, but again, because I'm so exhausted doing all of this yard work, I fell asleep halfway through it, so I do need to finish watching that, and I would love to watch some more videos and get in the Halloween spirit. Give me that motivation to keep pumping out these videos. I think this time last year I might have been, putting them out every day or two, and now I'm just trying to see if I can get it, in the weekends and get out a video, but I'm doing my best. Oh look, I bought that. That is the green pumpkin with the bats on it. It looks a little bit darker in person, and I love the way it looks in person. It's this really dark, beautiful green color. It does light up too, and I want to use that on my kitchen island. So if you've watched my walkthrough videos, and I highly recommend that you do, I do every year it's something different, but I want to do on either side of the cooktop my neon green or fluorescent green, which will glow under the black light, candelabras that I've had in my last few displays with the pumpkin on top of it. It looks really good together. The dark green with my green fluorescent candelabra, and I'll probably put a few black candles in it. You're gonna have to wait and see. I'm sure my vision is probably not coming through. Again, I'm tired, so I'm barely coherent at this point. I think that's why I go off on these fun tangents. And it becomes a little challenging narrating a 20-minute video. In fact, when I was filming this, the actual raw footage was like 40 minutes. And then, I do so much editing to try and cut out lots of, moving from shelf to shelf. I'm sure you don't want to see all of that. So anyway, I'm very happy that I'm not narrating a 30-minute video or 40-minute video. There's the Boo crew. And we only have 2.5 minutes of video left to narrate, thankfully, because I know you're not going to want to hear me say, and here is a pillow, and it's got bats on it, and there is a pillow, and it has spiders, and there's one, it has skeletons. What a fun video that would be. I think that's how a lot of my early videos might have been. I love these pillows. Look at them. They are giant, like life-size. You've got a mummy and Dracula and Frankenstein. Very fun, but I can tell that we are nearing the merchandise at the checkout stand, so there's not a whole lot left to see. Hopefully you saw something that you like, though, and if so, again, also leave me a comment below with your movie recommendation, of course, and if there's anything on your to-do list or your to-buy list. I like that the pumpkin, that looks like it's got the ghost wrap on it. That's super cute. Oh, this is amazing. I love this. Look at all of those sort of disco balls with the glittery spiders. That is fabulous, and I need to do that. I need that. I need to put it somewhere in my display. Maybe I'll put that on my front door this year. In fact, I'm going to go back and buy it because, again, if you've been watching my videos, you know I am doing some mutant spiders near my living room windows. So it would be absolutely a perfect way to transition into my house. Oh, I can't wait now. All right, what is this? So we have puzzles. You know me, I love my puzzles. There was a 3D one there. This one I think is just a little container that holds the puzzle, but I'll take it. I need to go and buy a bunch of these for the off season and put together my Halloween puzzles all year round. I actually saw some on Facebook Marketplace. That was several months ago, of course, in the off season, and sometimes I hate dealing with Facebook Marketplace. I don't like to talk to people. I don't like to haggle. I don't want to go to some stranger's house and pick something up. But it's strange too because I give stuff away on Facebook Marketplace all the time. Before we go, I did want to say a special thank you to all the patrons who help support the channel. If you're interested in joining our Fright Club, be sure to check out a link to my Patreon page in the description below. And that brings us to the end of our trip to the home goods store. Like I said, we've got lots more stores to visit, lots of merchandise to look at. I've got lots of animatronics still to put together for you. I've got a few DIYs in the pipeline. Can't wait to share with you, so make sure you're subscribed. And until then, take care, everyone. And of course, happy haunting.